Hello there and welcome back to my channel. I make several videos a week all about cruelty-free beauty, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I hope you'll please consider subscribing. Now for today, I wanted to do another video where I take an older palette and do 5 looks with it, wear it for the entire week, and this time it is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I think this is a palette that pretty much most people own by now and they really enjoy it. I still hear people talking about it to this day. I don't know exactly how old it is, but I'd only really used it a couple of times, so I thought it would be a perfect palette to sit down and do 5 looks with. So if you have this palette and maybe you want a little bit more of inspiration to pull it back out and to use it, I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, I've already primed my eyes and I used the shade White Peach to set that down. Now I'm going to go in with these 2 shades right here on a fluffy eye blender brush from e.l.f. That's Peaches and Cream and Georgia. I'm just going to mix the 2 of those on this brush and then just start blending that into my crease. It's been a while since I've used this palette and I just wanted to pull it back out since I know that a lot of people actually do enjoy this palette. It still has that really nice peach scent to it. And using that same brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Candy Peach. We know look number 1, I have to do a peach look with this palette. And just start stamping that and sweeping that in the crease as well. And I'm filming this on the official first day of spring. So of course I'm going to do a very pretty, warm, peachy look. Okay, then I'm going to take the shade Just Peachy on my finger and I'm going to put that all over the lid. This is my favorite shade in this entire palette. I just love how it's just like that perfect pinky peach. Okay, and then I'm going to take this shade right here. And I'm going to take this on like an eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. This is the one from their 70s inspired collection. Just a little bit and place that on this outer portion. Just to kind of deepen things up a little bit on this outer corner. And just go back to that original brush that I was using. There's nothing else on this brush. I'm just using that to blend around that brown shade. Okay, I'm just going to quickly put on some mascara and some false eyelashes, and I'll be right back to finish up the lower lash line. Okay, I have the rest of my face done. I am filming for my Wednesday's video, so by the time you're seeing this, that will already be out. It's my new go-to no foundation makeup look, so if you're interested in that, I will have that link for you below, because it will be out by the time this video goes up. Now we're going to finish up this lower lash line. I'm going to take that same little eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. and I'm going back in with this brown shade first. I'm just going to take a small amount of that. I'm going to start kind of pressing that underneath my lower lash line. I didn't pick up much on this brush because this shade can get pretty pigmented, so I wanted to make it more soft. Also, I just realized I forgot. I'm going to use my ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Peach Fuzz in my waterline. I completely forgot to do this first, so I'm going to add that in right now. This is my favorite pencil for the waterline. Okay, I'm just going to put some mascara on my lower lash line and then the eyes will be all done. And here are the eyes all done. And here is look number 1 with this palette. I had to do a really pretty peachy look for the first look. I had to. Peach palette, I'm going to go for the peaches, of course, my favorites. So stay tuned for look number 2. For look number 2, we're just going to be doing a one and done look. I have to take my dad to a doctor appointment early this morning, so I don't really have a lot of time to do an elaborate eye look with this palette, so I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to show how you can get a one and done eyeshadow look from this palette, in case maybe you're in a rush. I'm going to take the shade Luscious on my finger, just that one shade, and I'm going to just start applying that all over the lid and up into the crease. This is going to be the only shade that I'm using today, because his appointment is pretty early this morning and we have to drive about 45 minutes to get there. So I do have to leave a little early this morning. And then I'm just going to take my brush that I was using to set down my eyeshadow primer. This is the LA Colors. Okay, it's worn off, but I believe it's the 409. It's the concealer, the double-ended concealer brush. I'm just going to lightly take that and go around these edges a little bit. And I promise the next 3 looks I'll do something a little more intense with this palette. But I said, well, this will be a perfect opportunity to show that you can, in fact, get a one and done look from this palette too. And those looks can be just as pretty. And that's literally the eye look, just that one shadow. Now I'm just going to quickly put on some mascara, and I do have a false eyelash because for me it takes about the same amount of time to do a false eyelash that it would just using mascara, so I find that it doesn't really affect my time. So I'm going to quickly do that off camera and come back and do the lower lash line. Okay, I realized that I filmed the first portion of that with one of my earrings completely twisted, so that bugs me. But just right quick, the lashes I'm wearing are from Ioni. These are the 3D foam ink lashes in the style Natural Doll Light. They come in kind of like a packaging like this. These are some of my most favorite lashes for like an everyday type of look. And all that I'm wearing on my under eyes is my Rare Beauty under eye brightener in the shade Light, then my Merit complexion stick in the shade Cream. I just mixed the two of them together. I haven't mixed these two together yet, so I'm hoping it'll wear pretty well today. I'm going to take the shade Luscious once again, but this time I'm going to take it on the other side of that LA Colors brush, the more flatter side, just enough so I can run that on my lower lash line a bit. I'll go ahead and put it on both sides since I picked up a little bit more than I thought. I'm just going to take the same mascara that I used on the top lash line, which is the Rare Beauty one, and just do my lower lashes, and this eye look will be all done. Okay, and here are the eyes all done. And that's literally everything for look number 2. I just wanted to get on here and do a very quick and easy eye look that you can get with this palette. And I mean, I love looks like this just as much as I do more intense looks. But I am hoping in my next 3 looks with this palette that I'll be able to do something a little more intense than this. But I hope you enjoyed look number 2. Stay tuned for look number 3. Alright, for look number 3, I'm going to try, as promised, to do something a little more intense, especially since yesterday was a one and done kind of look. So I'm first going to start out with this shade right here on a fluffy eye blender brush from e.l.f. Now this shade is pretty light, but I just wanted to get a shade down in my crease first. And then I'm going to build it up. I'm trying to do something a little more smoky today. Kind of build that shade up just a little bit more. And then I'm going to go in with this shade right here on that same brush. And I'm just going to kind of stamp that on this outer portion of my eye first. And then start putting it in the crease. Blend that out. Because I'm going to go in with another shade. One more shade that's a little bit deeper. So get this nice and blended out first. Okay, I'm going into with this deepest shade right here on that same brush. Just going to do the exact same thing. Start stamping it out here first to get the most amount of pigment here, and then sweep what's left into my crease. And it's totally okay if you get a lot of it on your eyelid, because I am going to be going in with a deeper shade on the eyelid as well. So that's fine. I'm always very messy when I'm doing eyeshadow, and then I just clean it up later. Especially on this outer edge right here. Totally messy. But it's okay. Okay, I'm going to go in with this shade next on my finger, because this is like a shimmer shade. And I'm just going to start applying that with my finger all over my lid. I didn't pick up too much at a time, because I knew this is more kind of like a, I don't know if this is like a, kind of like a black shade. And I'll get kind of a smaller brush to get in my inner corner a little bit, but I want to get most of this pigment down first with my finger. Okay, this is a little concealer brush from e.l.f. I'm just going to take that same shade, that it's called Tempting, and use that brush to kind of fill in this little part right here that I couldn't quite get with my finger. I probably could have used the brush the whole time. And I'm going to go back to that blending brush from e.l.f. and just start blending around that black shade. Actually, no. Scratch that. We're going in with this. This is a detailed crease brush from e.l.f. We're going to go in with this smaller brush. There's nothing on this brush. It's completely clean. Just keep working around that shade So it's nice and blended. I know it goes without saying, but please know that there is so much I cut out as far as the blending. It takes me a long time to blend out eyeshadows because I'm so picky. So just know that there's a ton that I do cut out just to save time. So just sit there and you blend, 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 blend. Okay, and one more shade that I want to go in with over the top of this, and that is this green shade right here. I want to put that baby bout in the center. And let's just see. I hope this doesn't ruin everything. Put that right in the center. Ooh. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly do my false eyelashes and the rest of my makeup off camera, and I'll be right back to do the lower lash line. Alright, all the rest of my face is done, so let's finish up this lower lash line. The first thing I'm going in with, this is the LA Girl Shockwave Metallic Eyeliner in the shade Dragon. I thought this shade would be really pretty with this eye look. I think that brings out the green that's on my lid, so I like that. Now I'm going to take a small angled brush and we're going to this shade right here. Run that right under where I put that green. I'm not going to bring that down too low because I do have a bit of darkness under my eyes anyway, and I don't really want to exaggerate that, so I am going to keep it kind of up a little bit higher. Okay, I'm just going to do some mascara on the lower lash line, and this eye look will be all done. And here are the eyes all done. And there we have look number 3. I hope that this look made up for yesterday's, which was just a one and done, and didn't even have enough time to do the rest of my face yesterday on camera because I just completely, I don't know, lost track of time or something, or I had the time wrong, I don't know, but I wasn't able to do any of the rest of my face on camera yesterday. I just had enough time to throw on a little cream blush and get out the door. But today I wanted to sit down and do an entire full face of makeup with a little bit more of a smoky, more intense kind of eye. So I hope that you did enjoy look number 3. Stay tuned for look number 4. Okay, for look number 4, I'm really kind of wanting to focus on these shades that they have a little bit of purple in them. So I'm first going to start out with this shade right here, and I'm going to take that on an e.l.f. blending brush. Now it's kind of like a shimmer shade, but I was going to see if I could put it in my crease. When I put it on the brush, it doesn't really look all that purpley. We'll see. Maybe there's a little bit of plum in that shade. Definitely don't need much of it. It's pigmented. Okay, that shade really didn't want to blend out too easily, but I did about the best I could with it. But it's not a matte shade. That's probably about the best I'm going to get it as far as blending. I don't recommend using that in your crease because it was really a struggle to blend that shade out. I mean, no, not a fan so far here. I'm going to go in with this shade right here on an eyeshadow C brush from e.l.f. And I'm going to start stamping this one on this outer portion of my lid. Then I'm going back to that blending brush from e.l.f. and I'm just going to blend around that shade with this brush. Just to see if I can kind of blend it out or not. I'm struggling a bit with these shades. Okay, this has been an absolute struggle to blend out these more plummy shades, so I don't know how I feel about this look. I've tried and tried to blend them, but I feel like it looks kind of patchy in some areas. I know that first shade was more of like a shimmer. It wasn't a matte shade, but I mean, even a good shimmer will blend out. Like, I've used shimmers in my crease plenty of times and they blend out beautifully. I'm not really so happy with this look so far, but I'm going to keep going. I'm hoping that maybe some false eyelashes will save the day. They usually do. But I'm going to go in with this shade right here on my finger. I'm going to start putting that on the beginning half of my lid. It was taking me so long to blend out, I even had to shut off my camera for a minute because it's just me sitting there blending and blending and blending, hoping this shade kind of saves the day. Or if not, maybe the false eyelashes will. I don't know, but I'm going to quickly put on some false eyelashes and do the rest of my makeup, and I'll come right back to finish up the lower lash line, assuming that everything looks good once the false eyelashes and everything's on. I'm hoping that will save this look. I don't know at this moment, but let's hope for the best. Alright, I have the rest of my makeup done, so I'm going to take this shade right here on a small angled brush from e.l.f. and I'm going to run that on my lower lash line. Okay, I'm just going to put some mascara on the lower lash line and look number 4 will be all done. And here are the eyes all done. Okay, and there you have look number 4. I'll be doing one more look with this palette. I guess once the lashes are on and all the rest of my makeup is done, it doesn't look so bad, but this is probably so far my least favorite with this palette. I don't know, they just didn't really blend out as easily as some of the other shades in here, and I know it could be the tone. There's kind of like a purpley plum tone to these shades, and I know they say purples are really hard to make. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but here's to hoping that look number 5 turns out much better. Alright, for my 5th and final look with this palette, I wanted to do maybe a nice wing with it, and I want to use this shade right here for my wing. I'm going to try to keep this more of just a matte look. Now this brush is actually like for baking, like it's to decorate cakes and stuff with, but I love how it's just like very thin and it's perfect for wing liner. And just do a wing. It's really hard to talk and do a wing at the same time, so this might be kind of a silent one while I'm trying to get this done. I just love these big chunky wings like this. They're just my favorite. Especially when I'm not wearing any other shadow, I like to bring them up really higher so there's more going on the lid. Now I'm going to quickly finish the other eye off camera as well as do the rest of my face. And I'm not doing anything on the lower lash line but just mascara, so I'll be able to come back and show you the finished eye look. This one's just a real simple one today. We're just doing a big chunky wing. And here are the eyes all done. Alright, and there is the 5th and final look. This pretty brown chunky wing doesn't really match my shirt here with the space vibes and my little space earrings, so I'm definitely gonna be changing into, I have a pretty little brown shirt that I think will match this eyeshadow perfectly that I'll be changing into. But you know what, I honestly think this might be my favorite out of the 5 looks that I've done with this palette. I love these really big chunky wings and just nothing else on the lid but just that. I think I love that. It's perfect. And maybe if you're not feeling up for much of an eyeshadow look that day, it's a perfect way to use a palette. Just do a big wing and you're good to go. But that is all 5 looks with this palette. And there you have all 5 looks using this Too Faced palette. I do hope that you enjoyed all of these looks, that maybe you got a little bit of inspiration from them. And I thank you so very much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.